Hey everyone, Lisa here. I'm a part of the Become New team behind the scenes, and I love this series that we're in as we get to pick some of our personal favorites of John speaking and sharing. And the one that I chose was from over a year ago in his series First Thoughts. And he actually had a special guest on that day, John Mark Comer, and together John and John talked about ruthlessly eliminating hurry. And that's something that I think about all of the time, especially as I have young kids trying to do a couple of different jobs and juggle everything. And I love one of the things that they said, talking about God's speed of love. And so I hope you enjoy it as much as I still do. Check it out.
Hey, so this is John Ortberg, and I'm here with a good friend who I just value greatly, and it's been a emerging and deepening friendship. A lot of you will know John Mark Comer, a pastor, a terrific writer, thinks lots about culture and about how people get formed spiritually, is a wonderful voice, a really, really good and diligent dad and husband and friend. And some of you will have read his book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And we're walking through a day at a time. What's one thought that you can take, I can take into our day and carry us with us as kind of an anchor thought to keep us rooted. And hurry is such a huge problem. And since John wrote the book on it, I thought this would be really fun. Both of us have been deeply influenced by same character, Dallas Willard, who had lots to say about it. But John Mark, first of all, thank you very much for doing this.
It's an honor. This feels like a very backward interview. I'm normally on your end of this thing, so Lord have mercy.
You have lots and lots to say, but say a little bit about the topic of hurry. You have written about it and you talk some in the book, but I just love for people to hear from you.
Yeah.
Why does that feel like an important subject? What impact can hurry have on your life or people's lives?
Yeah, I was, autobiographically, I was basically a quintessential stressed out megachurch pastor having an early midlife crisis. And
You're way too young for that.
No, or not. And I had come to Willard's kind of corpus of writings, and they had already had a tremendous impact on me, and just kind of raising the horizon of possibility for human personhood to Jesus' original vision. But I was still fairly stuck in my kind of day-to-day life. And of course, the concept of hurry doesn't come from me. It comes from kind of Willard's mind through your life and your biography in relationship to him. And when you first told me that story, I can't remember if I read it in your book or if it was in our conversation, but you know, where Willard said to you, hurry is the great enemy of spiritual life.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, many, many years ago, I'd gone to a church in Chicago. I was real busy and asked Dallas, what do I need to do to stay spiritually healthy and alive? Long pause. You must ruthlessly eliminate hurry from your life.
From your life, yeah. And he called hurry the great enemy of spiritual life in our day, right? And I remember when I first heard that story out of your life, not mine. First off, my first reaction was like bewilderment. You know, I'm in this I'm in Portland, Oregon, very secular, very progressive, very hostile to Jesus cultural climate. And if you were to ask me, what are the top 10 challenges to spiritual life in Portland? Hurry would not have even made the list, much less been up toward the top. A bunch of other things would have gone right into slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, or whatever. And so my first thought was wait, hurry? Hurry's the great enemy? But then bewilderment went really fast to best analogy I could think of was you're a musician, like a tuning fork. You ever hit a tuning fork, and if you're close enough to it, your bone will resonate with your bone is coming into contact with middle C. And music theory, musical notes are literally woven into the fabric of creation. Man didn't invent middle C. Wow. It's just there, like gravity, like light, and you can access what's there or not and make something with what's there. And so it was like this tuning fork kind of reality, where I think it put the finger on the pulse of not the symptom, but the root. And the symptoms in my life were a lack of love, in shorthand, irritability, exhaustion, chronic anxiety. But the root...
Ouch, anybody?
Yeah, or at least one of the core roots was hurry. And just the very simple idea, and maybe if this is a one thought for the day thing, maybe the very simple idea is, if in Jesus' teachings and vision, the most important thing in life is becoming a person of agape, of love as defined by Jesus, hurry and love are, as you would say, incompatible. And so recognizing that, there's that Japanese theologian, Kosuke Koyama, who has that beautiful little essay called 3 Mile an Hour God.
I don't know.
And I had to Google it. Apparently 3 miles per hour is the speed of walking. And he has this beautiful, like, short 2-page meditation where he just says that God has a speed, and it's a speed of love, and love is a slow speed.
Wow.
There's an internal speed, there's a pace to agape.
Wow.
And the reason that God doesn't go quickly in our lives or in human history or in evolution or in the universe is because God is love, and love has a speed to it. So
it's interesting because I think we'll think often of God like a superhero, and superheroes are fast.
Yes.
Superman is fast. And the idea that God's superpower might be slowness. It's a different way of thinking about it.
Yes. Yeah, everything that happens, well, I mean, we're at this beautiful spot on the coast right now, but being in nature, I live up against this forest right off the edge of downtown Portland. Portland has the largest urban forested park in America. And so I live in the city, kind of, but like up against a forest. It's a long story. But just living in that proximity to nature, you just realize there's a whole other time scale to nature, to trees, to rocks, you know? And what if there's a different time scale to growing a soul, to soul making, that requires a different speed? You know?
One of the things that struck me in your book was I'll be challenged sometimes by people who lived a long time ago about how diligent they seem spiritually, and with people like John Wesley, how he would get up early in the morning to pray. But you talk about another way in which his life is different than ours.
Yeah, I just mentioned, I mean, like, the stats on sleep are crazy. Even 100 years ago, before the invention of the light bulb, the average American slept 11 hours a night.
Man.
And because the sun went down and you basically went to bed, and in winter, that was pretty early, you know? So I always felt so, I think I said this in the book, I always felt so like shamed when I read that Wesley would get up at 4 a.m. to pray or whatever. Yeah, but he went to bed at like 7 o'clock at night. He was sleeping in. What else are you gonna do? You know, get up and pray, of course. So when the monks are against sloth and oversleep, I think maybe they have a different definition of oversleep than we do. So not 11 and a half hours, just 10. So you get up to pray, you know?
So for people who are facing a day-to-day and you find yourself tempted to feel overwhelmed, rushed, you have too many things to do, you're worried about them. Dallas had a little note on his refrigerator. His wife Jane said when he died it was on there, and he had different words in addition to hurry that were connected with it. Hurly-burry and harried, and you find yourself feeling that way. Let's take a breath right now. And John Mark, as people walk through that day, if they carry this thought, ruthlessly eliminate hurry, what helps you do that? What do you think might help people right now, and as they walk through this day, not be the victims of hurry today?
You know, it's the simplest things are always the hardest things, but you know, so much I think of spiritual formation comes at some point down to self-awareness. And the ability to kind of see yourself and see how you are in the world. And so I think sometimes it's just a matter, and I don't have this down. Like, by the way, never write a book on Ruthlessly Eliminating Hurry, because if you're human and you have 3 children and you live in a city and you lead a church through COVID, and every time you feel hurried, you will just feel like the greatest of all hypocrites. You know, apparently writing a book about something does not make it true of you. But that habitual coming back, like, you know, in mindfulness, they teach you when your mind wanders, you don't berate yourself about it or beat yourself up about it.
Yes.
You just notice it and you gently come back to your breath. And I think with hurry, which is a form of like Christian mindfulness, when you notice that you're hurried or harried or stressed or rushing, don't berate yourself or judge yourself. Of course, the whole world around us is designed to hurry you and designed to make everything as fast as it possibly can be. So it's just a matter of noticing that and then coming back often to your breath. So sometimes it'll just be like, oh, wow, I'm really hurrying right now. And yes, look at the attendant sensations of anxiety, of anger, of irritability, all signs that I'm not in love because I'm not in flow, because I'm hurrying. And so what does it look to just kind of, sometimes I'll just try to gently come back to my breath and just kind of take a deep breath and try to slow down my body. And it's been forced me, and this is not the kind of vein of the Christian church I grew up in, but to a more ancient kind of orthodox historic view of Christianity, which they would call it embodied spirituality, and viewing your body in biblical language as the temple of the Holy Spirit, and really trying to, this is why I think Westerners like can't comprehend fasting, for example, because it's not Cartesian. You don't do fasting with your mind. You're like not eating your way into maturity. Like we don't even have a paradigm. Like I can listen to a podcast, I can read a book, I can watch a devotional, but not eating? How is that? But it's so transformative. It's body-based. It's somatic. So I think like trying to, as Willard would say, let your body become an ally, you know, rather than an enemy, and gently work with your body to cultivate the presence of God through just breathing in God's Spirit.
And it really is possible. I have a long way, but one of the amazing things when you were around Dallas is he was not perfect by any means, but hurry was just not in his body.
Yeah.
Wasn't his face. And when you were with him, you would know that. So now we all get to practice that. 3 miles an hour. Don't be in a hurry to turn off your cell phone. Don't be in a hurry to do whatever you have to do next. Today, ruthlessly eliminate hurry. And when you forget, just stop and eliminate it again. Thank you very much. It's a gift. God bless you.
John.
The right. I wasn't ready.
Well, I can help it.
Okay. Am I the right?
You're the right everything.
Head size compared to your head size.
I have a giant head. Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us this week. We're glad to be on this journey with you. You may or may not know that we're on lots of platforms, so wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube.
Yeah. And we want to let you know, if you've been watching these favorites videos and it's made you think, I want to go back and watch some of those oldies but goodies, we provided a link in the description that you can click on. It'll take you to a comprehensive, quick look at all the episodes that John has done. So that's pretty exciting. We've so enjoyed being on this journey this week with you. We'll be back next week on Monday. In the meantime, if you have prayer requests, we'd love to pray with you. You can text them to the number 855-888-0444, or you can email us at becomenew.me@gmail.com. Have a great week, everyone.
See you soon.